working together. So I just, I think that that path of least resistance going to the city is just not there. And we just have to be realistic
Right.
about it.
I don't mind the idea of like
But he really couldn't answer that question because he didn't know yet.
We don't have the final numbers.
But
Right,
also, do
right.
we even know what our budget, what the bids are? That's the other thing is that people are like, I will go down the road and commit to you, but what's the cost? Do we?
So here's where
structural
that
engineering
stands.
keeps on- Structural
Yeah.
functioning,
Right.
it keeps on coming up. And so there needs to have some of these things that are in place.
So we did meet with someone today.
Okay.
A contractor did come to the boardwalk.
Yeah.
He said he would have something to us within the next couple of weeks.
And that would be wonderful, because I think that's a
And who
big
was it,
variable.
Rachel? Was it an engineer or what?
It was a contractor. They specialize in like dunes and like just that kind of work like on blocks, so then they would have to subcontract
Okay.
some of the project out. And he was really there for the platform, I believe, from what I got from the meeting, but he was willing to give a price and kind of like estimate what the boardwalk would be as well.
Victor told me that somebody was there to see if maybe they could get the boardwalk, the platform opened, get that taken care of.
Where is the contractor from?
He wasn't.
I don't
From
know.
up north, but he wasn't
Yeah.
from anywhere I noticed. Started with a K. I want to say it was Kent, something like that. I can ask. I can let you know.
Yeah, and the other thing we have to be careful of, when I was talking to some of the neighbors, they're dealing with the view, but they're dealing with Ben, and Ben is saying, well, we can't do any landscaping, until the project is done. He's got to be careful what he says, because he's not involved in our project. And so now I'm
I don't
getting,
even know what that means.
well, they own the property on the other side of the boardwalk, which they want to landscape. But they also would like the city to at least, do something in front of their place. They're willing to pay for it. But, so they have to do all kinds of planning. But Ben said, my interpretation is Ben keeps saying, well, we can't do anything until the boardwalk's done, da, 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 da. Well, Ben doesn't speak for us. So he needs to be really careful and if I see him, I'm gonna say that, you gotta be careful what you tell people, because maybe we can do some landscaping or cutting before the project is done.
I think part of the problem with landscaping is gonna be that they're gonna need a construction zone.
Oh,
So
they
to
are,
put
yeah,
in some
absolutely, yeah,
expensive landscaping, then
absolutely.
have it wiped out.
Except that these
Yeah.
people own over, is that Allison, that's your interpretation? They own the other, they don't own, they have the cutting rights on the other side of the boardwalk. They can do whatever they want there. The city can't say anything, but it's silly for them to put the money into that if they still can't do
I wonder why they wouldn't wanna trim the box elders and all the junk trees that are blocking that view right now. So you're saying
Because they can't, it's on the city property.
Oh, I thought you
all-
said they owned it.
They own,
No, they have.
they own the other side of, they don't own it, Niederstadt owns it, but they have cutting rights on the other side of the boardwalk. If you're standing on the boardwalk, city property, Niederstadt property, down to and the bank owns like 20 feet up that wall or whatever it's called, hill. But they could landscape it, but why do all that if it's just like, really?
So we can bring that to Victor's attention, or you did already.
Well, we had a long conversation. Victor was great, but we gotta be careful because people aren't gonna give money to this project if they're hearing 15 things,
Mhm.
I'll speak to him.
Yeah.
I don't know what I can say, but I can at least learn more about it. Like I
Yeah,
said,
maybe he could talk to Ben and just
Yeah.
refer it to Victor if somebody.
Well, that's gonna be a sore subject because the city has let that bluff view go. Ben told me, and Tom Richards, right to my face, the view from the bluff has no merit to the city. That's a direct quote from, Ben wrote a letter
It
and
doesn't even make
And
sense.
that was in the letter signed by Ben years ago. So, but if we're gonna get those people to give, we gotta give them a little bit.
And
Yeah.
around the viewing platform, everything is all overgrown and.
It is, yeah,
It's
yeah.
junk
Looks like a
trees.
jungle.
It looks
Yeah,
like a junkyard, yeah, it looks
Awful.
junky, yeah.
Okay, let's get on that too.
Okay.
Okay, let's see, back to, what we've gotten done on the marketing and promotion end of it. So, the new brochure, so Scott has been,
That's good.
yeah, handing it out to people at New York and Pearson's and, have we gotten it in any stores yet or,
I'm taking it to the chamber tomorrow.
okay?
Yeah, no, I've followed up with people that I've had previous discussions with. Sometimes it's been, one time or two times. And now that we have the brochure, there's more specific information about how to donate. And I have only positive reaction from everyone except there's one person who lives on the bluff that was not, as positive. But I've had people ask me, should I bring a check? Everything has been very positive. I think it's gonna be great.
Good.
And they love the brochure and they love the
Yep.
information in it.
Yep.
And, they want to donate.
And so we had also talked about maybe doing like tent cards for tables at the restaurants. And we know of two that will do it, one that won't do it. I think Naturkis's will do it. So I think that would be a great way to get it right in front of somebody when you're waiting for your drink. Oh, what's this? So working on that and then
But
let's
as you
see.
said, if we can have a QR code where they can donate with a credit card, I think that would be helpful.
Yeah, I agree. If you're sitting at a restaurant, and you're gonna donate, you're gonna want like a online option, like a
Right.
simpler option, I should say.
And for those that weren't at the council meeting, Victor and Jim Raymer had said no cross pollinating on publicity, at least until 501c3 comes through, so. Let's see, then Lucy also has a real good start on banners to put at the top and bottom of the boardwalk, so we went and took pictures. There's the sidewalk closed sign, so we'll have to figure out if that comes down and it can go right where that is, or if it needs to be put up on risers, like with some 2x4s above that, so we can talk about that.
Okay. Yeah, I spoke to Decca Digital and got pricing on side.
Okay. Yeah, she called when we were on the way to Traverse City today, and they told her $90 each or something. So I wouldn't think that'd be a problem. Yeah. Let's see, Rachel, do you want to put up that PDF that I sent you?
Oh, goodness.
So let's circle back to that first one. We've been kind of back and forth on how to handle fundraising for more than one project that parks are responsible for. So we've got the skate park too, and we have had kind of a cool idea about that, but let's circle back and just talk about the boardwalk stuff right now. So we've got this kind of brand thing going, so we're trying to use those graphics for the tent cards and the tables, for the banners for the boardwalk. Let's see, Rachel, is the social media post up yet?
Yes,
Okay,
on the
yep.
city. And
So all that got converted into a format that works on Facebook. Instagram is a totally different format, so I guess Lucy's still gonna work on that. Let's see, then what to do with the above stuff. So we're trying to figure out how to get brochures into the hands of residents on East Bluff. We're trying to like think about, and I think we should think about like, what is our best chance for getting $600,000 funded? It's not going to be with $100 here and there. So I'm not sure that people in Weequahic or the Point use the boardwalk or would be interested in donating. I don't know what everybody else thinks. I
The
think-
foundation's gotten donations from both Weekly and the Point.
Okay. The foundation, oh, your foundation, yeah. Mhm.
I
Okay,
think that there are some foundations that would donate. They have to give a certain amount of money away and they like Harbor Springs, so.
it may not matter that they don't personally use
Yeah,
it, yeah.
A lot of people use it just for exercise too.
Yeah.
I
Walk
think
up.
because it's
Yeah.
a community piece,
Yeah.
people will wanna donate it to them no matter what.
So, Scott gave 8 or 10 to the Stevens, right?
Yes, they asked for them. You know, I've had multiple conversations with them over the last month or so. And he asked for 10 brochures because he's definitely said he is going to make a significant contribution. And then he has a group of friends that he wants to have that, those
Yeah.
people know the information. So I did drop it off at his house.
Mhm.
And I haven't heard anything further from him. And you know, also as an example, like you said, for people who use the boardwalk for exercise, I had a conversation with Brian Burley one night at the New York, and he said, his comment was, we'll make a donation, and so I dropped off the brochure that has the information, how to follow up. He wasn't in the office when I did it,
Great.
but I'm sure I'll see him soon again, you know, and also you know, people really like the information and want to know about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they
sent the information to Vince and Sharon as well,
Yeah,
the
that,
Mahalics for the golf, and there was someone who wanted to donate online, so I gave them information for the website to do that as well. So, this was one specific that didn't live in the area of someone to donate.
yeah, that was another thing that.
So I guess I was thinking in terms of like, could we ask Sharon to take 10 brochures and maybe maybe it can kind of snowball that way?
Yeah.
Would you take 10
Yeah,
brochures?
no, I'll take, yeah, I'm happy to,
Okay,
yeah, but to take, yeah, as many as, yeah, I'm happy to do that.
yep. I'm thinking about, yeah, I know a couple other people, but not as many as you, so I don't know if
Well, I
you
don't
wanna
know.
take a big stack and you can give like a stack to everybody or that you know.
Yeah, I mean, I can take probably, 20,
Okay,
but, yeah, I don't know.
we need to, I know, we need to, yeah,
Who is Stevens? Where is he at?
Stevens live on the bluff. They live in the second house east of the high school pool.
East of the high school.
Yeah,
Oh,
his
okay,
name is
yeah, yeah,
Gal, her
yeah.
name
Yeah,
is
they're
Ann.
really nice. I've met
Very
them.
nice people,
Yeah, they are really nice.
very
I can
nice.
never
And
remember
he's
the
been
name.
interested in, I
Yeah,
mean, we've had at least 3 conversations. Also, I can tell you, last night I saw the Bruckners who live next door to the little Harbor Club
Mhm.
building on Bay Street.
Mhm.
And he asked me, should I give you the check or should I give it to the city? So I think he's definitely gonna make a
oh,
donation.
that's good, okay.
And, so I mean, I focused on people that I think, are interested and can make,
Sandy Wolf is a big supporter.
Oh, yeah, she's really nice, yeah.
She's really
Yeah,
nice, so
yeah.
I don't know if you wanna give her a
I
stack.
can take brochures down that way, yeah.
Okay, yep. And the Pretties, do you know the Pretties?
I don't know, what house do they live in?
They just remodeled, what, a year or 2 ago.
I
It
don't-
used to look like a, Pulte subdivision house and they put a beautiful porch on it and
I'm Bluff.
let's see, is it,
It's gray, it's down.
yeah.
Ellison is
It's
down our way
before
or
Oak
down
Street,
the-
right?
I will probably see them
Yeah,
this weekend.
I can't think.
The Pretties. Let's send you with a big stack of brochures and
Yeah,
then
no, people,
we'll send
people like
Sue with a
it.
big
They,
stack.
they enjoy it. It's well put together. It looks good. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
And let's see. What about Sujo Offield?
I don't know Sujo really. I mean,
I can call her.
I do know that, when I was involved with the library, that, of course, the mom gave big to us. And they've always given a certain amount of money through their foundation because they have to, they have to give some, so that might be,
They gave a substantial amount to the skate park.
Yep, so that
Okay.
doesn't mean they wouldn't do the board.
Right,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just so you're aware when you go to
Right,
them,
yes,
that we
right.
did just get a
I
very
do know,
substantial.
yep.
Okay,
All right, do we have, who's gonna call? I'll call Sujo. Do you want me to call Sandy Wolf or do you wanna call her?
no, I can stop by, yeah. I
Okay.
can
you-
stop by and see.
you
They
will.
walk by my house all
And
the
then
time.
you're gonna talk to the Pretties and
Yeah, and,
who else knows somebody up there?
but I also spoke today with Kate Gurney, because
Yeah.
obviously they will benefit from the boardwalk
Yeah.
being open. And so, I asked if your family would be interested,
Mhm.
kind of an approach like that. And you know, I think also, I was in the outfitter today too, but Josh wasn't around.
That was another thing that I had on the list too, was Rachel, I don't know if there's a newsletter that goes out monthly to DDA members. I think there is.
Margot has the information for businesses.
Could we ask her though to see if the DDA members would be interested and if she would put it in the newsletter? Because it's to their benefit, I would think. For parking for employees and then for people getting downtown.
There was another, I dropped a brochure off at Tim Knapp's office,
Mhm.
you know, because he's the
Mhm.
chair of the DDA and he also has contact with clients, you know, who may be interested.
Yep.
And is a friend.
How many of these do we have? A lot?
500.
Okay, because I have a big meeting tomorrow. I bet you I could hit up all those women.
Great.
So
How
I'm
many do
taking,
you want? Keep at 'em.
there'll be 20 or 30 people there.
I'll grab some from my
Yeah,
office.
yeah. I don't know how many are gonna be from Harbor, but forgot about that. I can hit them up. I can do a little spiel at that meeting.
Could you scroll back up there, Rachel? Do you think you can go to stores and ask people to put one in their window?
Yeah, when we
Or
have the
give them
flash.
two, they could put the two sides in the window?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
But you know,
Great.
I thought we were gonna do a single page flyer.
Yep, so,
You know,
yeah,
which would
yeah.
be
We did say
easier
that.
for them to do, like the bulletin board
Yep.
up at the Harbor Springs Market, and then, you know, an 8.5 by 11 is easier for stores.
The original flyer is up at Harbor Market.
Yes, it's still
Yeah,
there. I
I
saw it
thought.
today. Yes.
All right, let's work on that then too. And then Rachel has talked to the farmer's market master, whatever she's called, and we're allowed to do it once a month. So, all right, well, you're gonna man it or we'll take turns
Yeah,
manning
we'll
it?
take turns.
Okay. Would everybody be up for doing a Saturday?
I'll try.
Do you wanna make a schedule and?
Yeah, I'll send an email out.
And then, street music, I think could be really good. So same thing, do you wanna make a schedule for that too? Okay. Let's see, there's been a couple articles in Harbor Light, so that gets the word out. Maybe we just periodically see if Victor could get in touch and kind of update information. So, the Headley Override Group Committee, I think they've done too many. I think people are getting numb to a letter every week about the Headley Override. So, but what do you think about, we put a few letters in the paper once a month or something like that? And we could take turns writing them. And we could take some different angles, you know, it's important for safety, kids not crossing streets, you know. It's almost like an attraction.
Anna, why not kind of go from your brochure a little bit, like maybe you have, first letter might be about the boardwalk and its history or something, and then another one could be about its plan, and then it could be, the third is like what the benefits, how everybody benefits from it, you know, and
That's a
kind of
great
use
idea.
that as a,
Yep.
you could augment it, but you know, kind of use that as a, because people are gonna be here in the, you know, right now, these next, until September, this is it right here. The big, you know, there'll be people.
Do we want to wait and start the first week in July when more people are here? Or I guess they all get the paper, right?
They do, and a lot of people read it online, I guess.
And I think you have to have the
You
article
also
in.
have to see when Charles can get it in,
Yeah.
and the summer months are really busy, so
Right.
it'd probably be good if
And that
somebody
way-
gave them a heads up.
I'll send you an email.
Right, so that might
And,
be
and
good.
what is the frequency? I don't think we want to do every week. I think it's just too much.
If we do it once a month, that's plenty.
Okay. And if you want to make up a schedule for that, Rachel, so just give assignments.
Are you gonna do anything over the fourth at all, with getting brochures out? Just a thought.
We could have a table at the art fair.
Because there will be folks in town that weekend that aren't here other weekends.
Maggie, like planning on doing a float for the parade?
Well, that was going to be with the coordination with you all, so since we are not collaborating, we are not gonna do a float.
Is the little office, the chamber office by the New York, they're gonna have them, right? There,
Yes.
that
Yeah.
one, yeah.
Yes, they already have them
Okay.
in
Yeah, I
in
saw
one of
you
their
did.
plastic little stands, but they need more.
Chamber newsletter, Rachel, you can coordinate that,
It's already in the newsletter. I sent it to Bonnie like
the brochure.
a couple of weeks ago. Or no, not the brochure, but I sent her all the information, so.
Maybe
Send her
some
some
visuals.
visuals.
Yeah, the chamber has physical brochures, but Bonnie was not there today. She's downstate.
The historic society donors are kind of a who's who in a good donor department.
I reached out to them, but I'm giving them some grace with Blessing of the Fleet. I'm trying to let them get
Yes,
through that
good
first
point, yeah.
before we hound
Yeah.
them for anything.
Do they have though, like a table, I forget when you come in, that they might have some area to put some.
Good idea.
brochures? Yeah.
I'll make sure I go there.
Rachel, how much did it cost for the 500?
175.
That's good. For color and quality, that's excellent.
And then next door, another kind of social media thing. Do you
Yeah,
want me to post?
I'm not doing that, but you
Yeah,
guys can
it-
take that off your plate.
I will do
Not
that.
personal.
There was another interesting post.
Yeah, what was getting fired up again?
Same
Oh,
old, same.
short-term rentals. All right, so that's publicity with like the brochure and that kind of stuff.
I think this gives us plenty to do for our next meeting. Let's set up for July.
So let's just think ahead. Scott had a really good idea. I don't know who went to that Ukraine fundraiser at the Lyric Theater. It was really nice. New York did the free appetizers, cash bar, there were a few speakers, and then a documentary about the world's central kitchen. Is it
Right,
called?
right.
So he had the idea about doing something at the Lyric for that, but then an even better idea about maybe something at the Historic Society like in July.
One of the reasons I kind of changed focus from doing something at the Lyric and having a movie there was because I looked into Historical Society and, you know, Vince Mahalik is the president, and last night or 2 nights ago at the city council meeting, the director spoke and things. And so I think if we agree to approach the Historical Society to have an event at the museum.
And it could be a joint event with the Historic Society.
Right, and you know, because people love the picture of the history. I mean, that's the one that they seem to gravitate to. And I think they must have more information
They
and
might
this and
have
that.
some
and we could-
ideas about
Yeah.
there could be an old film to show that
Yeah,
hasn't been
correct.
there. Yeah,
So, I mean, I think, you know, to change the focus from doing a movie or something at the Lyric to do at the Historical Society. And, you know, I saw Sharon and I saw Vince the other night.
You need to speak with them about that quickly then.
Yeah.
If you want, because that's,
They have a
I
lot of
mean,
stuff.
that's a
going on.
lot going on in July. So I don't want to throw that at them last minute, so I will email Kristen or you can speak to them either way, but
who wants to do it then? Do you want to do it or? do you
I
want to do it?
can.
You know,
I'll
Chris,
email
you know
Kristen, yeah,
Kristen, I
I'll
mean, I
ask
don't
her.
who she is, but I don't know her.
And this is kind of weird, but like, could we ask them for a donation? This would be like a nonprofit donating to a nonprofit. A little bit weird, but.
I know, are you talking about for her, right?
No,
Or
But for the Historic
historical?
Society. We could talk to her about it.
Yeah, I know her pretty well, so.
And I did talk to Bill about the harboring thing and he's thinking about it. But, you know, this is like a quality of life thing, which is what they get into. So it's a possibility. Do you want to scroll down? Okay. Any more thoughts on grants, Rachel? Anything that could match
Not
up?
this time, no. Not if we want to build in spring,
Mhm.
I guess, is my answer.
Do we want to call some of those companies like DTE or Consumers or AT&T and see if they have like community outreach programs that
I
might
know
donate?
DTE does, because I've spoken with that gentleman. So I can touch base with him, I get his email from Victor. The
Did we-
Rotary, I mean, they just had their grant cycle. I don't know when their next one is. So I can ask, you know, if that's yearly or quarterly or.
I would just skim through that again, and if there's something else. Lucy says she's kind of interested in learning how to write grants, so she might help you on some of these.
What about the Fry Foundation? Have we ever dealt with them?
I believe so. Maybe not specifically.
I
with
mean, they
fire.
have, I mean, they have some monies.
Communities.
Mhm.
Well, and they have a president, the Fry's have a presence here in
Right,
Harbor
yeah, they do.
Springs, so. they're pretty
I mean,
logical.
I've dealt with them but years ago, so I don't know what the parameters are anymore. I can't remember.
I think this gives us a lot to work on
Yeah,
for this month. Okay, let's see. Any more updates or info on the boardwalk? Move on.
Do you have the 500 brochures?
they're in my office. I'll grab a bunch and bring them in here when we're done.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Maggie. Okay, the survey.
Yeah.
How many people have responded so far, Rachel?
I don't know if I heard, I'm here, but 32.
Yeah,
Right
there's
now.
about 30 people right
I'm gonna post it on Facebook again. I'm gonna give it through July. Because July is Parks and Recreation Month, so I'm gonna push it really hard, so.
So that might actually be a really good letter to the editor. Maybe the first one, if you'd like to put me on that, I'll write one about answering the survey.
So if you, I sent this to all of you, so you
Right.
saw it. So it has where they're from, has a list of all the townships. Like we planned, we went off what the school district was, is that correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it looks like there was none from Cross Village, Freeman Township, highest obviously was City of Harbor. Little Traverse was the next, and it's tied with West Traverse. So.
That makes sense, because that's the folks basically that use. it.
Right. Most of them are permanent residents, that kind of, I mean, it didn't really surprise me, but big difference.
There wasn't a lot of surprises in the first 30.
No, there's more.
Things, yeah.
It goes through the benefits of the parks. What they're looking at when they choose a facility, none of this was really surprising. And then, I don't know, I'm not gonna read all the comments, but when I sent it to you, did it show all the comments? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Go to the next one where it says rate each park.
Yes,
You can't put like, if you wanted to have 2 parks be like your number
Oh,
one of the
okay.
highest.
yeah,
If you wanted to have 2 be number 1, you can't do that.
okay,
As soon as you put 1 twice, it
Okay.
drops that one off. Same with the
Gotcha.
harbor one. I was
Okay.
trying to put 4, which is the highest for
Mhm.
2 things, it
Right.
wouldn't let me, and I kept going back
Okay.
and forth going, why won't it let me? It
okay,
kept dropping.
I'll take
them.
a look. Just let me know when the
Yeah, it has
next
to be
question
one,
is,
two,
it doesn't.
Yeah, it has to be
That's
like
what-
that,
yeah.
yeah. I remember that was one of them.
The beach, I mean, I don't think that surprises anyone that was really
But
high.
One of the things that I noticed about the beach was the comments about the playground equipment. And I drove by before I came here tonight, and the beach is really busy right now, and I see that beautiful grassy area. And we still haven't installed the playground
So
equipment.
what is the update on that?
I haven't my director's report. I'll go over it.
Okay.
Hold on here. And then rate the Improved Beach Capital Improvement Project, again, none of this surprised me, it's boardwalk. Tennis court. Not important, which is that kind of surprised me, actually.
Which one?
The tennis courts,
Yeah.
it was not, that surprised me, but. Yeah, so Kiwanis was high and,
Boardwalk.
yeah. And then your playground equipment was really pretty high.
Right, that's what I noticed.
And then all the amenities like see added to Kiwanis Park, it pretty much aligns with what we planned on doing, the tow rope, skating rink, pavilion. And then for passive parks, more picnic tables, benches, shade features. Some want nothing added, and some of the comments even said they don't want anything added
Right.
as you read through, so.
Yeah, I think people like their parks kind of simple.
And then for the pavilion, I mean, that was pretty much even Stevens.
They kind of said to me it's not that important.
Yeah, it didn't really seem high. I mean, maybe like we put it up at Kiwanis if we were gonna do a grant there, a small one, but it doesn't seem to be a huge need. And then parks programming. There were some comments that mentioned like Fall Fest and the Kiwanis events, so. And that's really, I mean, that's 50-50, which in light of things is not, that's not ideal. That's not what you wanna see if you're gonna go for a millage.
Yeah.
That's not safe.
Because the ones that vote against it are gonna vote.
Correct, like that's too close for comfort, because if it doesn't pass and it just doesn't, you'd wanna be a little more confident going in.
That's
But,
good to know.
right, yeah, either way, it's good to know. So we don't go for something that's, and then again, I'm not gonna read through all the comments. But as Scott said, there were a lot of comments about shade features, is what I noticed, and leaving things more passive. And there were a lot of comments about the playground. So as we're on the playground.
Was there any,
Yeah.
was there any in yours about maintenance? There was that one about maintenance, and I can't remember if it was the harbor one about Ford Park or this one. But my one comment, I think it was, do we want to add any more? And what I put is, not necessarily, but we need to take care of what's there.
Okay.
I just took pictures the other day while I was there kayaking of the new sidewalk that went in at Ford Park. And it is crumbly and stuff's growing out of it. And that's only been there, 2 years? So, we might have enough walkway, but we need to take care of what's there. So, and I can't remember if it was this one or the harbor one, because they
I
both
think
talk
we
about
had,
Ford
no,
and-
we had one in here about maintenance.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So what are our takeaways then, we think,
I
just,
say we leave it up another month
Yeah.
for
yeah.
sure.
More responsible.
But I think
So
our
far,
takeaways
though-
right now are a playground is top. And keeping the things we have
Simple.
nice, yeah, simple seems to be the best way to go.
So do you think they're talking about the playground at the beach? Or
Um,
a decent
I think they're talking about both. There were like, the beach playground was called out specifically. But I think from taking in the general comments, you can assume that the park up by the ball fields, I think that one actually is, someone mentions it specifically,
That
Close
playground
by
is used
playground as well.
constantly, and
it's
it's
outdated.
really bad.
And then, so how long do we want to run the survey? You suggested
I'd like to run it through July.
through July. So it's gonna be a big part of the master plan, so I guess maybe our goal would be that would be the last piece we need to get in there, and then maybe we're ready to
Yeah,
take the master plan to council.
yeah, I would
Public
say like in
hearing.
August, end of August, we should be able to take it to them. So we do have a donor for the beach playground, so the parts are ordered. They paid for it in full, wood chips, parts, everything. Came to just over $6,000. So that's gonna be put in pending DPW schedule. So I can't force them to put it in
So
the middle
when-
of July, so.
So when what does Lucas say? I mean,
Lucas said if they had time, they would try and get it in July. When the parts come, the parts aren't even here yet. Those are at least gonna take 3 weeks. And then we have to order the wood chips and those will take about 2 weeks, but we'll coordinate it together, so that won't be
so
a
what's been the
problem.
holdup on that? Because that's been dismantled for so long. I've had several people say, I thought it was gonna be, next week.
It wasn't in the budget to put it back in for the parts,
Okay.
to do wood chips. so.
Okay.
At least when I started,
But I
it
mean,
wasn't, but,
as far as we took it down, but we didn't,
yeah, there was never a plan to put it back up, as far as I'm aware, when
the
I started.
playground, it was
but-
never, there was never a plan to put that playground back up.
Well, I am sure there was a plan, but no one had
Okay. then-
acted on
okay.
it, if you will. So, there must have been a plan, because they kept it, but I don't
Yeah,
think there was
yeah.
anything set in stone, whether they wanted to put it back on the actual beach or put it,
Cause I think that playground was donated originally.
it was,
And
yeah,
so I think those people are kind of annoyed.
yes.
Those are people we don't wanna annoy.
Well, and that's what I spoke to Lucas about, and he understands, now that we have a donor, I told him it's essential
Right.
we get that playground in.
Right.
I don't wanna put it in September when that donor is not here any longer,
That's right.
and then it, yeah, so.
And we're asking for more money.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't
Do you have a
followed
ship
through.
date
Yeah.
on the parts, like when, do we know when they're gonna be
I
here?
ordered them like a week and a half ago, so they should be here in the next couple weeks. So, and then once those come, I'll speak to Lucas and hopefully DPW on like a Monday or Tuesday afternoon.
Can we order the mulch now though, so it's here at the same time the parts are, so we aren't like
Good idea.
sequentially, you know?
Yeah, that's what we did. So like we call
mulch
and
is
then it's
ordered?
like, yeah, so it's all aligned and paid for, and then we just tell them when to send it in. But again, I need a solid date from DPW before I can tell that semi to show up, because it's a huge semi of mulch and they blow it in. It's not something they drop off and then we do.
Can you add to your victory list, maybe just give them the feedback that people are really pushing and asking why it's not in yet? and-
Yeah, Lucas is aware, like he knows, we've spoken about it, so it'll get in when everything gets here.
Okay, what else we got?
And then, what else? Oh, we have someone who is interested in donating a bench to Zoll Street Park.
Mhm.
I'm not opposed to it, but I want to make sure we have a solid policy on it through council or Victor or somebody before we put a bench in such a popular, we do have memorial benches at Washington Street Access, we're about to in the next couple weeks, and then at Glen Drive, but people don't frequent those parks, so it's not a very known thing that people could do that.
You talk about the dog beach?
Yeah, so before we put one in at Zoll Street, I'd like to have something very,
And this is going to be a memorial bench dedicated to somebody?
yes, but right now we don't allow names on benches, we just allow like 3 lines, like a saying, you pick out the bench.
I think
And
we
the
should
color.
have a definite
Yeah,
policy
and
for that, yeah.
And the policy, like where I worked before was, you know, the Parks Department can say no for any reason. Sometimes we wouldn't, like, let's say someone wanted to donate a bench to Marina Park, but we already had 10 benches there, we could say no, but we can put a plaque on it, on an already existing bench. So we just have to make sure that we control every step of the way when that happens, because I feel like once people see that at Full Street, we're gonna get a lot
Do
of.
we have a written policy that we can send people if they are interested?
I'm working on one right now, I think so.
Yeah.
And then boardwalk fundraising, we already talked about that, we're set.
Thank you, the Clark family, so much.
Oh, jeez. Well, I have to admit, Robert said, you know, had I known, he never uses the boardwalk. He walked down the other day. He said, I never would have given the money unless it was with the understanding that they trim that on the top of the bluff so that people can see. I said, well, it's too late now. He said, well, tell them no more money until
Mhm.
you can see the water, you know, from the, but yeah. Well, he's happy to do it.
And then if anyone has questions about the lifeguards, we're really understaffed with lifeguards right now. So they're either lifeguards and they have lifeguard shirts on and they have a sign that says they're lifeguards on the door and they're posted up, or there's beach attendants because there's not enough for liability reasons. We did have some go through training this past weekend and then another one this weekend. So hopefully we will have enough, but they're not there every day. I think right now they're not there Tuesday and Wednesdays.
The lifeguards are not there on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Correct.
You know, the beaches posted no lifeguards.
Yeah, it says
Okay.
swim at your own risk. We put new signs on the raft that say
Okay.
use raft, swim at your own risk. There's
Yeah.
rule signs on the back of the lifeguard stations now.
Okay.
I think those went in the day after you called.
Mhm.
Okay, so, cause I couldn't remember when
I
you
called
called
last
me.
Tuesday
Yeah, they
or
went in Wednesday
Wednesday.
morning. So if you go out there now, there's signs that say they won't always be on duty
Mhm.
What does our advertising say, Rachel, about lifeguards?
on the website.
Yeah, anywhere that we advertise. About
It says that they're I'd have to go on the city
We just
website, but
need
there
to be-
is something on there that says if they're off duty,
Okay,
it's
we
at
just
your
need to
own
be
risk,
careful,
yeah.
that we're not saying
Yeah.
that. Okay,
So, and they're different colored shirts, like if they're lifeguards, I think they're light purple, because that's all Carter's at, and then if they're beach attendants, I want to say they're green. So
But
they're
beach
totally,
attendants, what are they?
People
allowed
aren't
to
they're
do?
watching the restrooms, they can still kind of call 911, they can still
Okay,
use the AED, they're just not going in the water.
Okay, and do we have a lifeguard usually on the big raft?
Not right now, we don't.
Yeah. That's
Because there
kinda-
has to be so many on the beach and
Yeah.
then so many on the
Yeah,
rail.
that's kind of scary.
Yeah, so today I blew the whistle a couple times out there to get kids
Yeah.
to act right on that rail.
So how many lifeguards have been hired?
Right now, we have Cody, Annabelle, we have about 5. But
what's
we
full
usually
staff?
staff 4 at least at a time. at the
So what's
beach.
full staff? How many do you need to be?
We would
staffed?
like to be safe 7. Just because
Yeah.
they're not all gonna work
Well, yeah,
7 days,
yeah.
yeah, so that's where we turn, like, technically we have enough, but that's if they all
Yeah,
work 7
yeah,
days a
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
So, and then like 4th of July turns into an issue, because like, of course, all want 4th of July off, and they all go back to school in August, so then you lose them.
Yeah, yeah.
But if people do have questions, they are there, they're just not gonna be there Tuesday and Wednesdays for now, and they're not always
Okay.
lifeguards, they're sometimes beach attendants. And if someone has an issue, feel free to give them the parks number, because I've been going down there, if there are like issues like today, where 10 teenagers are hurling themselves off the rail.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and then,
And what about targeting like high school kids who are on swim teams? for
yeah, so that's who
lifeguards?
we go through. So Lynn Ness, who's the pool manager,
Yeah.
we contract with her for a flat rate, and she trains and gets us all our guards to the
And
pool.
how many?
So that's
kids-
where they do come
Well,
from.
how old do they have to be to do that?
16.
They have to be 16, okay. Yeah.
Cause then you wouldn't lose like the college kids.
Yeah,
going,
and
then
she
they
does a
could work
great-
till
yeah,
after Labor Day.
Yep, she does a great job at training them, and then she's really great at having them come back, even if some of them are in college and they just come back for like July or the 4th of July even. She has a really good
Have we ever
relationship with them.
advertised in the paper for that?
We put it in the paper, we sent it to the high school, I posted it on our Facebook
Because
page.
there's some older, older people that, I mean, I used to be a lifeguard, but I'm not doing it now. I know, yeah.
Some teachers,
I
like
used
in
to
the
be a
community,
lifeguard, you know,
the
so-
community pool has some teachers that have done it. When I did the class, there was a teacher who did it with me.
Right.
But unfortunately, it's not just us, like Weekly's having issues, Bridget, and Lynn and I have spoken about all of us combining and just sharing lifeguards and saying like Birchwood, The Point, and
Right.
Weekly, and it's just a pool of lifeguards.
Yeah.
So we can all call each other and say, we're short
And
staffed.
how much are we paying those kids an hour?
A good amount, like I
Like
think, yeah,
20?
I think the head guard is 20.
Because you're gonna have to pay, you're gonna have to. pay.
Yeah, I think the head guard is 20, the other head, but she's also in charge of restrooms, like, so for instance, Alexis, our head guard does the schedule. And on days the guards aren't there, like tonight, she's there cleaning the restrooms tonight.
Yeah.
And making
I'm not
sure they're
complaining.
good.
I think
Yeah,
they're worth,
right,
it would be terrible if something happened down there.
yeah,
No.
It's essential.
yeah.
What about the college? Have you hit them up for
No, that's a good idea.
posting job?
I think they do a fair too.
It's just a bygone job, because kids have other opportunities now.
And then also Petoskey High School kids too,
Yeah.
not just Harbor High School kids.
So I think the Petoskey High School, they use the pool as well, I believe.
Here,
Mhm.
everybody uses our
I was
pool.
gonna say, I
Yes,
believe that they don't
everybody.
have their own.
Maybe next year we just need to say, all right, $25.
And I think Lynn is
You know?
also working on a class at the high school
Okay.
for life, maybe not specifically lifeguarding, but something like that to get kids,
Okay.
give kids knowledge, so they know this is like a choice when they come
And
of
who says
age.
they have to be 16? Is that a state law?
Totally, so yeah, that's like the.
It is, okay.
standard, yeah.
All right.
And then the skate park is open for the season. Nate is up there, daily managing staff, getting them going. And then Arbor Day was held at Kiwanis Park through the tree board, 75 to 100 attendants, easily. So that went really well. So that's all I have.
I have a question about the city beach. Are the dogs working down there?
Yeah, we haven't had any complaints, but we didn't overly advertise it either. Like it's on the city website. I did post it on the mutt mitts down there, but I kind of left it.
I just wondered if it was working as far as the.
We haven't had any
geese.
geese down there, but I also, geese kind of come in you know, they'll go
Yeah.
away for a month and then they'll come back heavy.
I saw some out on the point a
Yeah.
couple days ago. Those are the first ones I've seen.
Yeah, they
In
haven't
group.
been around as much.
And
Yeah, I
their
haven't
proof
seen
was
it.
that Ford cart today when I went out to the.
Yeah, but I haven't noticed them.
And it was okay. I have a question about Washington Park, the one off Glen Drive. I was
Yeah.
just there the other day when I was walking. And it looks like there was, you know, it hasn't really been cleaned up at all. I actually stopped and pulled weeds for a little while. You were mentioning something about a bench going there.
Yeah, someone wants to donate a bench to that park.
Okay, but I think we might need to do a little weed whacking. It doesn't really need a lawnmower because there's not that much lawn. But there is quite a few weeds, like kind of growing up, like as you come down, because it's kind of dirt, like in the beginning with a little. But yeah, a bench there might be good.
Well, it would be good if we had more presence.
Yeah, it's gonna be the
Yeah.
same bench as it's,
And there's no
Glen
real
Drive.
sun. Is
No.
there ever one that?
Mm-mm. There isn't one at Glen Drive, next down the road as well.
No, that's kind of the sneaky beach.
Yeah, we
So, but this one's kind of more
Well,
efficient.
it's rocky, well, and it's.
I mean, you can't get to the.
It's in
Right.
property.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rachel, I
yeah,
had a
there's
couple
a
of
thing.
questions too. What's the status on those Lyric bike racks that were gonna be available?
The Lyric uses those, they were just in the, like, the back one is for staff who ride their bikes there, and then the other one was just stored there during the winter,
Oh,
so.
I thought somebody
So
said
they're
they
out
were
front, they
available.
did, but it was just, I think because it was winter, they were stored in the back and someone thought they weren't being used, but they are. I
Okay,
spoke to Scott, so.
and then I can just give an update about, for people that weren't at the council meeting. The council has approved a plan to go ahead with putting an addition on the east side of the Harbor Master Building. Well, at least getting design
get the
drawings for
drawing,
it and
yeah.
getting a quote for it. So I think it's a really good thing. It will provide better pedestrian connections with the park, so people aren't walking through the parking lot and parking bikes in the parking lot while they're in the bathrooms. So hopefully it all works out.
The city voters don't have a say on that, do they?
Pardon me?
The city voters don't have a say on that. The Marina Commission can just build that. Or does it have to
Yeah,
go to
I
a
think
vote?
so.
It
So
has to
they,
go to council.
yeah.
But it doesn't have to go to a board of
Okay.
appeals.
Anything else?